Today we are going to look at 5 different ways to rig a lizard, and you'll see what they actually look like underwater. And number 5, I think, is going to surprise you how good it looks. When we think of the traditional plastic lizard, the first presentation that often comes to mind is a Carolina rig. Well, 20 years ago, this lure was the gold standard for a sea rig, and it caught a ton of fish. Then it took a back seat. The underrated lizard is something that we can throw when our lakes and rivers have lots of angling pressure on them. There just aren't many folks using them right now. Well, I have 2 different types of plastic. I'll be using a regular plastisol lizard and a Lastec. This first one is a plastisol lizard on a bungee jumper rig, which is basically a Neko rig alternative. The hook being rigged higher on the bait, along with the weight on the bottom of the lure, creates an incredibly effective presentation that easily slides through all sorts of cover. If you fished a Neko much, you probably have experienced how well it works. The lizard is a great alternative lure that gives a little different look than the traditional stick bait or worm. Number 2 is a lizard on a free rig. This time I used the Lastec version. Anytime that tail stands up straight off the bottom, I have a lot of confidence that it will be easier to see and pick out amongst the background. My hope is that fish in the area can find it even faster, and in clear water, they can see it from a farther distance. Next, I wanted to show you what the lizard does rigged wacky style with both a weightless version and a weighted wacky hook. Anytime you can imitate something falling or dying through the water column, you have a good chance of triggering that predatory instinct of taking advantage of an easy meal. Here is the weighted version first. This is an 1/8 ounce wacky hook. As you can see, the tail comes to life. With a lizard body style, you may have to play around with where to hook the lure to get that horizontal fall anglers love with a wacky rig. Now this is the weightless version. While the tail doesn't move as fast, it still ripples in the water as it drops. No matter how you prefer to rig it on a wacky setup, it provides anglers with a great alternative lure option. Well, number 4 is a lizard on a shaky head. Die-hard shaky head anglers know that there are a lot of lures you can put on this jig head. We just did an alternative shaky head lure video recently. Well, the lizard is another one you can add to the list. It gives anglers a lot of confidence knowing that presentation is always working for you, whether you are dragging it, shaking it, or letting it sit. And number 5 is the one that I was really impressed with, and that is using a lizard on a drop shot. This is a 2/0 hook and the Lastec lure. I could have used a bigger hook, but I didn't want it to weigh the plastic down too much. Look at that thing undulating in the water. And the great thing is, there's a good chance many others out there on the water are not fishing a drop shot like this. It's something that is different enough. It is worth throwing into the mix on those highly pressured weekends. If you have any great lizard rigging tips, go ahead and drop them down below. And hey, if you want to watch a video on the new antenna hook from Gamakatsu and take a look at just how weedless is it, go ahead and check this video out right here. And make sure that you go out and encourage someone today. You never know how you might just change their life. For the Bass Fishing Life, I'm your host, Steve Rogers.